Today's adventure begins in Helen, Georgia. Hey, I'm Ginger from Grounded Cabin. Usually this place is filled with a lot of people on the weekend. You can get food and drink out here, and then they'll have someone playing live music on the stage. They also have a bunch of the locks, just like they do across the road on the hot air balloon. So if you want to add a lock, this is another place that you can do that. There's another ATM in this area, so if you need to get cash, that would be a good spot. So over there, it's closed right now because I'm filming very early in the morning, but you can order from the counter and then just find a table to sit. They also have there's a candle boutique and wine house, some Dutch imports. Looks like they have some windmills over here. We'll go look at those. If you like to shop, go into stores and just look around, there is an abundance of stores in Helen in which to do that. Alright, we're going to come back over here. Somebody was standing at the restaurant I was trying to film. So this is the Heidelberg restaurant. So they have some seating, outdoor seating on the balcony. And looks like they also have a bar. And their hours say Sunday through Thursday, 11 to 9, Friday and Saturday, 11 to 10. And they serve German food. They have lots of different types of sausage, meals, pretzels, and of course German beer. There's a rock shop back here. We're going to go back out to the main street and continue our tour of Helen. If you're enjoying this video, I would love for you to subscribe, become a subscriber. And if you would like the video too, that would help me out trying to grow this channel. I hope you're having a great day. It's a beautiful day in the North Georgia mountains. Right now it's about 70 and humidity's low. So feeling pretty good. Now let's look. So here's some more of the locks. There are thousands of these around. So this is the Helen Square, and you can see it goes down pretty good ways, and we'll come back to the sign. So in the Helen Square, you have the Chat Street Tap Room, the Pepper Palace, Main Street Tattoo, Alpine Olive Oil, or Alpine Olive Tree, Itty Bitty Wonders, and Yona Coffee Cafe. So I'm going to talk about the Alpine Olive Tree for just a minute. So this is a tasting room, but it's a different type. They have vinegars and olive oils, and so they have it set up. I think they're closed right now, but I'll just try to see. I don't know if you can see in there, but they have big things where you can sample different types of olive oil, and they have all different types of flavors. They have savory, sweet, spicy, and same thing with the vinegar. And they'll fill a bottle, it looks like a wine bottle. They'll fill it for you, and you can take it home and have some nice vinegar or olive oil. So Yona Coffee and Cafe is a popular spot if you want a coffee. They have hot coffees, cold coffees, and it gets quite busy at times, but it's really good. There's a Native American jewelry. There's a Native American jewelry place, the Helen Sock Shop. Sorry it's so loud. There's semis, motorcycles, the Chat Street Tap Room, the Pepper Palace. Behind that is the Helen Arts and Heritage Center. It says they have a gift shop and a history museum. They have local art and fine crafts, and that's located behind the Yona Coffee. You'll see the Yona Coffee on the corner, so if you want to find this place, that's where it is. I'm going to cross the street and see what they have over here. They have rice jewelry, your name on a grain of rice. A leather goods store. Looks like they have some fur pelts and leather. Probably belts, wallets. Granny's famous funnel cakes and pretzels, and we will come up and look at the menu. So here's the menu. They have there's one of the tubing buses. You'll see white buses and pink buses, and they run through town all day long transporting people. So back to Granny's famous funnel cake and pretzels. Here's the menu. If you want to pause it, I'll just run through it real quick. They have funnel cakes, pretzels, deep fried Oreos, ice cream, some other things. Tattoo place at the Helen Hat Company. Another Yeti photo op. My Team store looks like they carry team gear. They have a glass blowing shop. And the Sugar Shack has ice cream, milk, boba tea. You can walk down the stairs and go to the Helen underground shop. And we're coming up on another series of stores. So they have Steve's Old Time Photos, another jerky store, Sugar Shack, and then the underground store. The shops at the Castle Inn. There's a quilt, Southern Comfort Quilts. Looks like there's a Christmas store back there. Now we're going to walk down to the Troll Tavern and Restaurant. So the Troll Tavern and Restaurant has seating, outdoor seating on the river, and you can, I think they're open for lunch and dinner. But a nice popular spot to sit. And then you have the main bridge that crosses the Chattahoochee, and you will have people tubing during the summer. So the tubing, I believe, runs from Memorial Day through Labor Day. And we have two different tubing companies, the Cool River Tubing Company and the Helen Tubing Company, and we'll be visiting those later. Across the street is the International Cafe. So right now I'm looking at the Troll Tavern, and there's the bridge, and then you have the International Cafe. And we'll just walk along the river for a minute. This can be a tricky spot for the people tubing, because you can see it's pretty rocky through here, and you have to hit it just right or you're gonna have to maybe stand up on your tube or out of your tube to get through. On the weekends, this place always gets really busy. You'll have, usually Thursday it starts picking up, and definitely on the weekend, and it really goes throughout the year. There's really no time that there's not a big crowd, a lot of visitors on the weekend, because there's always something going on, no matter what the season. So we're going to walk under the bridge, and then we'll come back and walk over the bridge. Another river shot. That is the Alpine brew deck, and they also have seating on the river. Here's their menu. So they have snacks, entrees, and it looks like they have a full bar. There's the flags that fly. And it's usually have a pretty nice breeze in this area. Alright, I'm gonna come back down this way so I can cross. See if I can get across before I have to cause anybody to stop. There's Cool River tubing bus. They have the green tubes. And then the other company, the Helen Tubing Company, they have pink tubes. Wow, that's I think that might be maybe mimosa tree, I'm not sure. If you know what type of tree that is over there, let me know. So walking across the bridge, this bridge has lights on it, so at night it's really pretty. It's lit up. And we'll stop here for just a second. So there's the International Cafe that we just looked at, and then the Troll Tavern. So if you want to sit and just enjoy for a little bit, watch the people tubing, or just watch the river, depending on what time of year, there are several options to do that. It makes for a nice, relaxing afternoon just to sit and watch the water. So there's Paul's. We talked about that in the video. And so you have Paul's Steak and Seafood, and then the Paul's Margaritaville. And at the Paul's Margaritaville deck, they usually have live music. There are a couple of Mexican restaurants in the area. This is one of them, La Cabana. Let's see if I can see what their hours are. So it says open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And they have, it looks like they have multiple locations around the area, but this one is on Main Street in Helen. Another place, this is the Mason Jar. So they have, I'm going to walk up here and look at their, see if I can find a menu. Yeah, perfect. So they have coffee, hot coffee, gelato, seasonal drinks, and also crafted drinks. They have a big variety, and I've had some of their drinks and they're very good. So that's coffee and gelato. And then right next to it is the mason jar shop. They have this like jellies, sauces in there. And then this is another little iconic photo op, the mason jar shop, big blue chair, big blue beach chair if you want to get your picture made in there. If you want to do old time photos, there's a place there. So across the street from me is a Wendy's, and it doesn't look like your normal Wendy's because everything in Helen has to have the Bavarian theme. So if you want to just have what I call just a normal fast food quick meal, that's a good place. Lots of good food in Helen, but it can get expensive, you know, when you travel and in the touristy areas. The prices aren't always cheap, and there are a few places. There's a Wendy's, there's a Subway. Another German restaurant across. They have outdoor seating with umbrellas. There's Christoph 76 Beer Garden, and they do snacks, drinks over there. They have a nice outdoor seating area. Pretty much every restaurant in this area offers outdoor seating because the weather's usually pretty good. Coming up on the Alpine Wedding Chapel. And so occasionally you'll see someone coming out that just got married. So there's that, and then the actual chapel, I believe, is over there, and they have a nice little garden area too, so I think you can do an indoor or outdoor wedding. Across the street here, coming up on Pirates Cove Adventure. It's a putt-putt golf, mini golf. There's another one at the south end of town. So there's one right here in the middle of town. And this is what they call the Fest Hall. So this is, looks like it's owned by the Chamber of Commerce. And they have a lot of events here. So from April through August, they have bingo on Tuesday and Friday evenings. And then starting in September, they have Oktoberfest. And Helen has the world's longest running Oktoberfest. So this year it says it starts September 4th and goes through November 2nd. And on, I think it's Thursday through Sunday evenings in the Fest Hall during Oktoberfest, they'll have German bands playing, and they also serve drinks and snack food like pretzels, nachos, that type of stuff. So this place usually it's very popular, but that's the Fest Hall. Okay, let me go back this way to show you where I am. So I'm the backside on Edelweiss Street. So this is the corner of Edelweiss and Munich. I'm gonna walk up this way so I can show you a couple things. So no matter what time of year you're visiting Helen, there will always be something going on. The town is really good about holding events, and because the town does depend on tourism. Another river shot. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button. And also, if you wouldn't mind liking and sharing the video, that would help me grow my channel. So along this little area through here, we have a lot of t-shirt shops, knickknacks. You want to get a souvenir. They do have a few candy. They do have a few candy stores. So this is the Village Crepe House. So they have Nutella crepes out here on their sign for today, and I guess probably every day. But they have Nutella crepe, s'mores, Dutch chocolate, apple pie, Elvis crepe. And it also says they serve coffee and cappuccinos. There's the Hansel and Gretel kitchen candy. And so back through this little, see this cobblestone pathway, very nice. We have some things back here. We have candy stores, a winery, so you can go in there and do a wine tasting. And that's another thing, North Georgia has no shortage of wineries. I think we'll turn back around, head back this way. So that wine says free wine tasting, enter here. And that's the Fox Winery. Well, it's getting close to lunchtime and starting to get a little more crowded. So this is the Hansel and Gretel kitchen candy. Some nice classic caramel apples. Looks like we've got some turtles. But that's the Hansel and Gretel kitchen candy. Candy kitchen. They have another nice little flower garden here with a waterfall. Come around here so you can see that. So again, we'll walk this way. There's some pigeons. Hello, little buddies. How are you? So there's a visitor information center right here. And, so this is interesting. So here's it's called a save station, and it's public access. So they have an AED machine in here. And if someone's having a heart attack, this is a good thing to know. This is the first time I've seen this here. But so where I am is right here by this flagpole, the garden, right across from the Swiss German Plaza. And if someone in your party is having heart troubles, there you go. Good thing to know. And that's right by the visitors information booth. So we're going to walk through this. It's the Swiss German Plaza. So it looks like they have a variety of things. Back here, wooden toys. Got some nutcrackers out. Coming up on the snack shack, they have funnel cakes, pretzels, more. It says feed your inner child. And across from there we have Sweet Treats, homemade ice cream. So Helen, during the summer, everything is pretty much open, whereas there's other times of the year when things are closed and not everything's open. But this is a big tourist destination because you have so many things. You have the North Georgia mountains, and you have the tubing. That's a big activity in the summer for Helen, to tube down the Chattahoochee. You have a lot of restaurants. You have hiking trails. So there's so many things up here to do. And it gets really, really busy, especially usually Thursday through Sunday is extremely busy. So they used to do these locks on the bridge, but they had to stop doing the locks on the bridge because of the weight. So now this is a hot air balloon, because Helen has a hot air balloon festival and race each year. They had it just a couple of weekends ago. And so you can come put a lock. Most people put like their name. So we have Mark and Vicky and maybe the date. But you cannot put those locks on the bridge anymore. But right here in the middle of Helen, they have the hot air balloon that you can put those on. The Copper Kettle Fudge. So it's another candy shop. Let's see, got some caramel apples. This like peppermint bark. Fudge. So they say buy 2 slices of fudge and get 1 free. Down this way. Oh, look at the little butterflies. Oh, a hummingbird. So they have a solar powered hummingbird, and then they have a butterfly here, and those are for sale inside. This is Rob's jerky emporium. So if you want a little solar powered hummingbird butterfly, you can get one for $14.99. So they have a couple of restaurants back here. So I walked through there and we come out to Willie the Wildwood Bear. So this is a good photo op. I see a big gnome and also some smaller gnomes back there. And there's a gem mining place that you can mine, pan for gold if you want to do that. That's also a big thing to do up here, is pan for gold. So this is Wildwood. They have some interesting things in there. There's a lot of handmade stuff. There's some nice birdhouses. So there's another paid parking lot. We'll go down this way, see what's down here. It's been a while since I've walked down here. So here's another parking lot. It says cash or credit. And I'm going to walk up here and see. This looks like it is a machine. Sometimes they have people that take your payment, and then sometimes they have the machines. So right here it looks like you have a QR code that you can scan and pay, or you can do the machine. So you can pay by plate. I'm trying to see how much it is. It doesn't say. Oh wait, no it does. So $10 daily, and that's what I thought. It's about $10 for parking, and that's all day. It says all day in and out, so you can leave and come back, it looks like. Oh, now wait, I might have found cheaper parking. So if you come down here, and let me see what street I'm on. So that was $10 parking there. And this is River Street. So I'm at the corner of River Street and Unicoi Street in Helen. So I'm at the corner of River and Unicoi. And their parking says $5 all day in and out. And it's a very nicely paved, newly paved parking lot with a lot of parking. So if you want to save $5, go a little bit further. Nice little church on the river, Hospitality Fellowship Church. And right over there, over that little hill, is the river, and there'll be a lot of people tubing down there. We'll get down there in just a few minutes. So this is Christoph's. They have caramel corn, coffee, pretzels, beer, and wine on the river. So they do have some outdoor seating on the back, so you can sit and have a snack, have a drink, and watch the people tubing. Which So watching people tubing is one thing that I like to do during the summer. It's just a lot of fun to just sit and kind of watch everyone go by. They're all having fun. And depending on the water level, sometimes the water is higher than other times, of course, depending on the amount of rain. And when it's low, they tend to get stuck on rocks a lot, and so it's sometimes they have a real struggle. There's Jerky Snack Shack. There's a lot of jerky sold in Helen. Handmade leather goods store. And again, this is on River Street. I'm on River Street right now. They do have an ATM across the street, or across the little street there. So if you need cash, there's an ATM. More restrooms. So again, there are a lot of public restrooms in Helen, and this is right beside the river. So over there's the bridge. So if you find the bridge, then you'll find another set of restrooms. Some more nice flowers. And these signs are posted. Keep off flower beds. Violators will be charged with criminal trespass. Fine amount is $705. So look, but don't touch. Okay, so one of the things that you may or may not have noticed when you come into Helen, go, there's a bee flying around, go. So these flags, there are several flags here. You have the Canadian flag, and from what I've found out, or what I've read, is that Helen is a welcoming town, an internationally welcoming town, and that's why they fly all those flags, because they want to be friendly and welcome everyone. So that's what I'm going with, is that all the flags are because Helen is such a friendly town. If you know that to be true, or if there's another reason for all the flags, let me know in the comments. There's Alpine Brew. They have seating on the river, so you can sit, watch the people tubing. I call them tubers. Not like the potato kind, but the kind that float down the river. I make bad jokes. So I see some tubers coming down the river. Got a few. On the weekends, this place will be thick. The river will be full. But it's a Tuesday, so light crowd today. So so back to, if you look to your left, there's two restaurants here. That's Paul's on the river. So that is a finer dining restaurant. They have good steaks, a little bit pricier place. And then behind it there, you see a wooden building. That's Paul's Margaritaville deck. So that's an open air restaurant. They have a lot of snacks, things like hot dogs, nachos, different stuff like that. They have beer, margaritas, and so you can go there, watch the people tubing down the river. It's a nice way to spend an afternoon. Usually I'll bring maybe my dad or my husband, or one of my sons, and we'll come spend the afternoon watching people tubing down the river. And there, see our first mountain. And it's summer, so everything is bloomed out very nicely. The mountains are all green this time of year. So just a very pretty place. They do a good job landscaping here in Helen. So our paved path turned into this nice brick. Looks very nice. The daylilies are starting to bloom. Those are some pretty tall ones. And these small maple trees, miniature maples. I guess they're Japanese maple. So right now we are on the north end of town, and we are walking up towards Betty's. Nice big maple tree there. And they have the welcome alpine Helen flags out. They change these throughout the year depending on the season. I wonder if they'll put out 4th of July banners, since we've got the 4th of July coming up in the good old US of A. Crossing the road, and we're coming up to Hoffer's. Hoffer's is a German bakery and cafe. They have indoor and outdoor seating. They serve breakfast and lunch. And they have fans out there, so if you want to sit outside when it's, even if it's a little warm, it should have a nice breeze. Go check these flowers out up here. And you always want to check, because not everywhere is open every day. During the summer months, things tend to be open more, but some things are only open more towards the weekend. Usually Thursday, probably. You start getting the weekend crowd in around Thursdays. And when you're going through town, if you're driving, you want to watch out for the crosswalks. There are several crosswalks in Helen. Because there are a lot of people going from one side of the street to the other, and you just want to be careful. The speed limit is 30 through here, and I believe it's 30 through town, so make sure that you're following the speed limit, watching those crosswalks, because I see a lot of people pulled over in town because they're speeding or breaking some rule. There's a Jolly's toy store. So if you want to buy a toy or have the kids spend a little more money and let the kids have a toy, you can go visit there. That says they have Jolly's Toys, handmade, classic, and retro toys. We also have the Heidi Motel and Windmill Suites. So there's the iconic Heidi Motel windmill up at the top there. Let's see if we can see it. So we are coming up on Betty's. So Betty's has a little bit of everything. It has a nice supermarket, little grocery store if you're here and need some essentials. They also have, they sell beer and wine. They have a section. They have a deli where you can get meats, deli meats or steaks. They also have a restaurant outside, and they have a bar there too. So they have sandwiches, wine, beer outside. So if you want to sit out there, and then let me back up just a minute. So if you want to drink, that's fine, but you can't take alcohol beyond the point. And then I like this. They have a lot of these seats where you can just sit and just kind of watch what's going on. If you just want to sit and have a nice little cold drink, refresh a little bit, relax, it's a good place to do it. And again, this is Betty's. So if you go in Betty's, they also have a deli there. And so they do breakfast from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. every day. They have biscuits, breakfast sandwiches, and pastries. They also have lunch sandwiches that you can order. And they'll have a menu up here. Tells you what the daily specials are. So today is tuna melt. No, that's Monday was tuna melt. Today is pastrami Reuben. And so the specials change each day. They also have these, this is the order form for inside. So you can pick what type of sandwich you want and just check it off. And if you want extras on it, if you want side dishes, they have German potato salad, slaw, condiments, what type of bread you want, so anything you want there. And they do the same for their breakfast menu. You just pick one of these up and you can order that way, or you can go to the counter. Either way. So if you want to look at their menu, you can just pause this at this time. So I'll just do a quick scan. So Betty's is open all week from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and they are open year-round. So this is definitely one place that you can count on to be open, whereas other restaurants may not be open all week and it may be more seasonal. So this is the parking lot for Betty's, and on the weekend this place is pretty full, and they will have someone sitting out here to make sure that people aren't parking here to go into town. You can only park here if you're going to Betty's. This is Betty's parking lot. So they do, on the weekend, they always have someone sitting here, making sure people don't just park and walk off. Alpine Shirt Company. And this is the Alpine Cafe and Pizza. So they do, I believe they do breakfast, lunch, and dinner here. And they have a nice outdoor seating area. It has a fountain. It has a bar. And look at these nice roses. And this bush is full of roses. So they have a breakfast menu, and most of these places, restaurants, will post their menu outside. So they have different entrees. They have a breakfast pizza, breakfast burrito, biscuits and gravy, a few different types of omelets, pancakes, French toast. And then over on this side is the lunch and dinner menu. They have appetizers, sandwiches, salads, and pizza. And their pizza is really good. I've had it a few times. They have pizza, pasta, and they do have desserts. Oh, they have Italian donuts, funnel cake fries. I might have to try those out next time. Some pretty hydrangeas. But that is the Alpine Pizza Cafe and Pizza Garden. And then outside of that, they have this, you might just pass it up if you're not looking, but they have this nice little tree house. I guess it's like a little troll tree house, and it goes along. Looks like it has alpine bears in it. And then this flowering tree is very nice. Purple flowers, purple flowering tree. So yeah, this is a great time to come visit Helen. Everything is in bloom. Everything has come back to life once again. Let's walk down this way. I see a lot of daylilies. We'll go check those out. So, looks like we have some orange daylilies. And I think those are black-eyed Susans. Some nice purple flowers. We'll walk down here and see what's down this way. So if you're not familiar with daylilies, they'll bloom in the summer, and it's a pretty flower. They're perennials. These are nice golden and yellow, orange and yellows. Here's a pay to park lot, and there are several of those around town. That is one thing. It's a little bit hard to find parking in Helen, because I think we're going to turn back around now, because there's just not a lot of, there are a few, I think, free places to park, and I will try to find out what those are, but most of the spots are going to be paid. But there are several lots that you can park in, and it's safe, very safe around here, so you shouldn't have to worry about anything. But you're usually going to pay probably about $10 a day. Could be more. I'll try to find that out if I can come across someone So this is Brick House Burgers Pizza and Pasta. It is not currently open. I think they open about 11, so more of a lunch place. That was a big tree. Wow. They left part of it. Here's the Miss Claus Butterfly Garden outside of the Christmas shop. Santa's sleigh. And this is probably more of a weekend place, and it's seasonal too. Coming up on the Two Tire Tavern. And so this is, you'll see often a lot of motorcycles parked out front here, especially on the weekend. I'm filming this on a Tuesday, so not a lot going on, but they have a big menu, and it's more of a, this is a lunch and dinner place. Got the Yeti, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever you want to call him. You can get your picture made with him. Little fun thing to do. This is the train depot. You'll see a little train running around Helen. It's actually just a homemade type thing, and they do rides for kids. And you'll see that going down the main street in Helen. It's probably more of a weekend thing. So we're coming up, we just left Betty's, past the Two Tire Tavern, and there's some more restrooms here. And that's one good thing about Helen. They do have a lot of facilities for you to use. I know sometimes you go places and it's really hard to find places to go to the bathroom, but not here. They do a pretty good job of providing those, and that's a good thing, because it's hard to be out somewhere and not have a restroom to go to. This is Mimi's Fashion Jewelry and Accessories. They're closed. So this little area through here, we're right across from, well, so there's the park that we started at. And that across the street over there is one of the more active areas. They have some a lot of outdoor seating. And we'll walk over there. That's called the Shops. The Shops at White House Square. So this is Paul's on the River. Remember, there's two different restaurants here. They have Paul's Steak and Seafood, and they have the Margarita Bar. Now, you can park at Paul's. So over there is the parking attendant, and what you do is you pay $20 to park, I believe, but you get that back because you get a $20 credit in the restaurant. So basically, you know, it's, you pay to park, but you get that money back in food or drink. So, and it's, if you're you don't want to walk far, it's a good deal, in my opinion. We're coming up on the Georgia Mountain Coaster. And this is right beside Paul's and right across from Wendy's. I don't know if you can see Wendy's over there. We're going to walk back this way a little bit before we cross the road. We'll go over there and look at everything. And here's another public parking lot. And this one is located on the corner of Chattahoochee and Edelweiss. So there's a lot of parking here on this side and then also on that side. And we're going to walk up, and they have this is one where there's no attendant, you just pay. You pay at the machine. So we'll go see how much this one is. And you can't park overnight. They do have some electric charging stations. We have a couple of those. And so you can pay here at the machine, and you can pay on your phone. It says pay fast on your phone, text small lot to that number, or you can scan the QR code. And I don't see a price, so I'm not sure about this one. If you know how much it costs to pay in this lot, comment below so that we'll know. Okay, we're going to head back up to Chattahoochee. I missed a couple places, so I'm going to do a quick swing through here. I see a sign over there for the public library. So if you're a library fan, they do have a public library in Helen. And that road that it's pointing up to is Pete's Park Road. So there's another parking lot back there, and it says $10 all day parking. Chattahoochee River Trading. It says they have fine quality goods. It's just peachy clothing, home decor, and gifts. Custom handmade art studio. And then coming up on River Walk Village, which has Cowboys and Angels restaurant and bar. That's a very popular spot. Muller's famous fried cheese cafe. It also has good food. Livy Lou's Sweets and Treats, and then It's Just Peachy, a leather handmade goods store, and the Noter Gift. There's the Dizzy Bear, which has t-shirts, gifts, and souvenirs. This is back there is Cowboys and Angels. And again, I'm on Chattahoochee Street. There's also Livy Lou's Sweets and Treats. And this is Muller's Cafe. We start in a park on the end of town. Has this waterfall. And we'll go up the steps and go look at, they have a playground up here. We'll go check that out. So if you're in Helen and need a little break, a shaded area to sit, this is a nice place to come. They have some benches where you can sit. They have some also like front porch swings, several of those. They have some picnic tables as well. And they have, there's a playground for the little ones if you want to come take a break. Plenty of seating around here. They have some swings. A nice playground for the kids. It's this time it's shaded for the most part. It's a nice day out here. It's about the middle of June. It's about 78 degrees. Humidity's low today, so that's nice. It'll probably heat up a little bit more this afternoon. But I tried to get out early. I didn't get out as early as I had planned, but that's okay. So these trees have some really interesting bark to them. Show you what it looks like. And this park is a nice place. It's located towards the end of town where Betty's store is. So if you know where that is, it's, I guess at the north end of town is where this park would be. But there's so many trees. It's very pretty. Here's some Christmas lights that are still up. I don't know if they light these up at night still, but you can see that one still has some lights. I think you'll probably see some of those. They do in Helen, they do a very long Christmas light display. They started in November, I believe, and it runs all the way through February, so plenty of time to see the lights if you are up this way. So there's a gazebo over here too, another good place to take a rest. When you're in Helen, that you can, there's a lot of walking, and if you're not used to a hilly terrain, you might find yourself a little bit tired. So it's always good to know where areas are to sit and take a break. So here's another interesting tree. Like I said, this park is very wooded, very shaded, has a lot of benches, swings, the gazebo. There are several trash cans around. Hey, how are you? Hey. So we're gonna come back up this way, and if you need to oh, look at that tree. That's nice. And all the paths are paved here, so if you, even though it's a hilly terrain, you should have secure footing. And then if you have someone that has a scooter or wheelchair, it's probably easy to get them around. I mean, it'll be hard to push it up the hill, but you do have a nice smooth pathway to do it on. So if you need to use the restroom, right off beside that park is a nice facility. Has baby changing stations in both the men and women's. There's water fountains. There's a bottle refill station. And let's see if it works. Yes, it does work. So if you bring water bottles and want to refill here at the park or around town, this is a good place to do that. There's two ways to exit the restrooms. You can go down these stairs and you can be in town, or you can go back on the path. And I think we're going to go back on the path today because I want to end up at this side and not right in the middle of everything yet. Oh, look at that. That's a nice one. That might be silver maple. This leaves look silver. Very pretty. When I'm walking like this, I have to get in the habit of slowing down, because if I go too fast, I end up out of breath. So I'm trying to pace myself. The video is over, but there's additional footage after this, so stick around and enjoy. Thanks. And don't forget to subscribe.
Going up on top of the hill. Yeah.